today I've got a very special guest on our show. It's someone who is actually one of our franchise partners. His name is Nimna Sanjeeth, and he's done an incredible job over the last couple of years growing his business and acquiring new contracts, putting teams of cleaners on. And I really wanted to introduce him to you as someone who has done really, really well, starting from a very small commercial cleaning business, building it up into something quite significant. And he's got loads of advice for people who want to get started in their own commercial cleaning business. So, some of the traps, some of the things that, some challenges and obstacles you faced, and how you got through it on the other side. So welcome, Nimna. It's great to have you on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much, Damien. It's really nice to be here as well. I've been following you since I started, but I think this is the first time we spoke properly. So it's nice to finally meet you and then introduce myself to you, and yeah, we'll go from there. Thank you for having me.
Terrific. Thank
Yeah.
you, Nimna. Nimna, tell us a little bit about how you got started. I know that you're originally from Sri Lanka,
Yes.
so you migrated from Sri Lanka to Australia. How
Right.
you got over here, how you got started, and how you ended up in a commercial cleaning business with 𝗪𝗏𝗿.
So I'm from Sri Lanka, like you said. I came here when I was 16 years old to pursue studies. I started my bachelor's when I was 16. Of course, I was extremely young to start my bachelor's. I was like the youngest guy there. Teachers were asking, how can you be 16 and doing a bachelor's? It's a long story. I got promoted and stuff like that. So I started my bachelor's in here. And for an international student, one of the hardest things is the student fees. It's crazy expensive. It's like $16,000 every 6 months, and it's just crazy. $16,000 I have to save up while paying my bills and rent. It's just crazy. And I was 16 years old, and then I was thinking to myself, okay, I'm here now, and I didn't want to hassle my parents for the money. It wasn't a deal. I can't do that. So I was like, okay, I'll just look into some other way to earn money. So the easiest access for a 16-year-old boy who's got no qualification to do an office job, and then I can't work full time. So the only way was cleaning. And that I started with 𝗪𝗏𝗿, who is another franchisee of ours, and he's my cousin. Uh, I went on with him for jobs with him. He does his jobs really well. So he's not an easy person to work with. So you can't leave one piece of dust. He's a good guy though. He taught me everything about cleaning, top to bottom, steam cleaning, scrubs, strip and seal, everything. So went through everything with him, and I worked, and then I studied full time, and then I saved up all the fees. So the good news is I never had to get any money from my parents. I saved up everything. And then I came here in 2017, and in 2019, I wanted to save money, and then I had this really like a huge passion to buy the Mustang. If you heard of that, I love the car Mustang,
Oh yeah, I
and
know the Mustang. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And then I saved up, I think like 50,000 for $40,000 for the Mustang. And then I wanted to buy it in 2019, and I realized that I'm too young for it. I can't drive a Mustang in P plates. I just realized I have to collect the money, and then I was like, you know what? This is a good sign for me because I shouldn't dump this money in a car that is not going to be a worthy investment. So let me look into investments. And I know that Callum bought a franchise of 𝗪𝗏𝗿, and he's doing well off. So I was like, all right, let me start looking. I started looking into many franchisees, and then of course, I had a chat with 𝗪𝗏𝗿 as well. And then I went and met Meron, who's a regional franchisee up in Victoria. And then he told me top to bottom, I love the fact that I didn't have to buy a van, have all the signages, love the structure, how it works, loved Meron, how he talks. So it just bumped in. And then, of course, Callum is an example for me. So other people, I don't know how it works because there's so many franchises out there that I'm not doing the right. Or recently, one of my mates got a franchise. He didn't tell me that he's gonna buy it. So I didn't have a chance to tell about 𝗵𝗶. He just suddenly bought a franchise and he started saying, I'm not sure whether you heard of 𝗪𝗶.
Yeah, I know 𝗪𝗶.
Yeah,
Yeah.
𝗪𝗶. So they just take leads out of 𝗪𝗶. Leads that is already divided into like three people and give it to these guys. How
Wow.
bad
Yeah.
can something be? Like
Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
he could have just bought a 𝗪𝗶 deal for like $300 a month.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they
Absolutely.
take like 15% out of it. So
Yeah.
it's just crazy out there. So finally I went with 𝗪𝗶 because I had someone to look up to. I knew that it's trustworthy, and then it's something that I don't know. I don't want to go for that. So I went 𝗪𝗶, and then the structure looked really nice as well. And then yeah, it just started growing since. And then I I I I graduated in 2020. So I came here in 2017. I graduated in 3 years in IT. And then I started a small IT business myself. But 𝗪𝗶 has been the bread and butter to run the IT business. It's been paying me the passive income that is needed, and Meron has helped me a lot throughout my journey as well. So that's about it. That's my journey very quickly.
No,
There's so
that's
many
that.
internal bits, but that's very quickly.
Um, it is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because I speak to quite a few people, and commercial cleaning is often their stepping stone to other entrepreneurial ventures. Even though, like, it's like you can turn over millions of dollars in commercial cleaning, and obviously, I'm a big advocate of commercial cleaning. I think it makes more millionaires than any other industry. Quite personally, that's what my belief, because I've seen it. I've seen so many people make so much money out of commercial cleaning when they're doing it right. But I also see a lot of people come in, and you're certainly not alone. Where they've come in, they've started a commercial cleaning business, started it with us, and after doing really well for a few years, they're like, okay, well now I want to buy some restaurants. I want to do this. I want to do that. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, you could stay here and keep on doing stuff here.
and
But I understand it's sometimes is a great stepping stone, and it's a great way for you to get into other entrepreneurial ventures, because commercial cleaning, it sounds really simple, and it is simple,
yeah.
but it teaches you so many fundamentals about relating with customers, understanding their needs, solving their problems, communicating, managing teams. So it's probably, I don't know what you think, Nimna, but
I
I would
think
say it's one of the best
commercial
schools for business.
I think commercial cleaning is one of the best businesses out there, like one of the best. The reason is we're talking about 50 to 40 to 60% profit margins, and most of it in passive incomes. Like I have a friend of mine who bought a restaurant recently, $200,000, and the profit margin is just less than 30%, less than 20% of it. They're crying in the first 3 months because it's really difficult. There are overhead costs, staff, food, they have to buy stock, they need customers, they need service as well.
Mm.
So it's just crazy. But when it comes to
Mm.
cleaning, we're talking about we call an office $2,000. Example, we put in a team there, train them, get the equipments, which is one off. We're not talking about constant waffles and then maple syrup and then butter, not like that. This is one off. You put it in there, make sure they test and tag, all done. Put it in there, have the team, and then you start going in once a week to do an inspection. I go to all my sites once a week, so 4 times a month. That's my goal. Once a week for an inspection, and like I usually try to call at least once every week to my team members to get them motivated, make sure that they're doing it right. If not, they'll be like, "Oh, no one spoke to me. I don't know how to do anything."
Yeah.
You have to be on their back. It's not that easy. So handling the team is a bit of a deal, but then when it comes to income, it's we can make it a passive income if you become smart and if you manage it right. Plus, we're talking about a huge profit margin. We're not talking about spending $200,000 and then making 10,000 barely. This is of course in urban clean the investment is much less, but then the profit margins are really high in cleaning business. Now, the thing with me is like I love the cleaning business and I'd love to grow it. For me, I have a passion towards the other things, and I'd say the same. Like you said, there are people who went and bought restaurants. If they have a commercial cleaning business and they don't have a passion to run restaurants, but they bought a restaurant for money, that's dumb. Because
Yeah.
they leave a very easy business strategy for a harder strategy
Yeah.
to make more money. That is dumb. Like you could just make way more money for that investment up in cleaning. So that is dumb. But if someone really loves to make dumplings, for example, that's all they do. They love to make dumplings. I'd say, okay, you have this income now. You don't have to work anymore. You're financially free. Like I don't work. I run my business, IT business, while doing Urban Clean, but I don't do a job. So I don't need to do a job. Thankfully for Urban Clean. So if they're in that situation and if they can go and make that dumplings that they really love, that is smart. But if they go into another business thinking, oh, that makes more money, that is not smart because this is one of the easiest strategies I've ever seen, like with the profit margins and how you can grow it. And then you're just literally getting a job, get something, a job, a contract. So it's just crazy out there. I mean, you can scale it in millions if you want to. Like you said, that's my opinion on it. Yeah.
Isn't it? See that some of our listeners might think, oh gosh, commercial cleaning, there's like I heard it's really competitive and it's really hard to break a profit and all that. And that actually is true if you're in certain markets. So if you're in like the big end of town and you're doing large cleaning contracts, like when they're worth maybe, $30,000 or $40,000 a month, which seems really attractive, right? Like, oh gosh, I want those. But then when you put the labor component, and obviously we're paying everyone correctly and we're paying, their super and the right ward
Exactly.
rates, you're like, oh man, there's hardly any money here. But that's not where we really play, is it? We play in a
With
smaller
Urban
type,
Clean,
sub 5,000 a
yes,
month. Yeah.
exactly. So when it comes to quoting, that's actually very vital because if you don't quote well, you're gonna either be going out of the pocket or the customer is gonna be unhappy. Because if you don't do the job right, like let's say there's a job that takes 4 hours. Of course we don't quote hourly. That's something I like about Urban Clean. But then once we start doing it, but if you quote only for worth of 3 hours, the guys are only going to be doing jobs worth of 3 hours. We can't push our staff to do more than what we pay them. And then the customer is, once you give the customer the quote, they don't really care about the quote. They're like, oh, I pay you this much, you have to do
Yeah.
all of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So we have to get it right at the first stop. You have to make sure that urban now the good thing with Urban Clean is you're not in the $18 or $20 to $25 range. That is the good thing about it because most customers out there, it's going down now because of the staff issue. Earlier, but I think when you were getting started around 5 years, when I just came to Australia, it was just crazy. People would just go out there and give quotes for $25 an hour. You can't even pay your staff for
You
$25 an
can't pay
hour.
staff on that, can you? It's insane.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the competition was going crazy, but it's going down now because there's a bit of a staff finding issues. So no one will work and no one will work if they're underpaid anymore, which is a good thing. I really like it. So Urban Clean always kept their standard. I think it's between 38 and then up until 80 sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, it can go right up to for the smaller offices when we're pricing it, it can be $100 an hour.
hundred
Like,
dollars an
yeah,
hour, exactly.
yeah.
So I think that is what we should do if it.
Hopefully there's no potential cleaning customers listening to this. They realize because they all think that we're ripping them off. But
No,
when we
it's
say it's $100 an hour, what we're meaning is that when we come in and we do it, because we've got to drive there, we've got to do it, we've got to set up, we're
exactly.
professionals.
Yeah,
And then you got to, so you still have to pay at least an hour, even if the clean
yeah.
only took 20
If it's
minutes, you
once a
still have to pay an
fortnight,
hour. Yeah.
exactly. If it's once, I think the hundreds are when it's once a fortnight or so. So if
Yeah, yeah,
someone is
yeah.
actually putting their time out of the day once a fortnight to come in there for 30 minutes,
Yeah.
it's going to be costly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it
if the
is. Yeah.
customer is going to have 5 days a week, of course they're going to get a cheaper one. So
Yeah.
that should be because customers really understand it now as well because they know how hard it is to find a cleaner. because
Isn't that
they
true?
would pay 200. Like
Yeah.
there's so many people out there, especially the small offices. So that is there. So with the coding technique, I think 𝗪𝗏𝗿 is doing it really right. They're getting it at a one stop. We don't have to go recode. You don't have to have issues with it. So if you don't code it right, then the profit margins are less. And like you said, when it comes to big jobs, the profit is not 50%, but because it's a big job, we're talking about a big profit.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's right. Yeah.
that's how it works. So if
And
a smaller job, now the good thing with big jobs is one place you're managing, one customer you're managing. So you make a big chunk out of that, not a 50% chunk, but it's a big chunk. So
you've got a couple big ones, haven't you? So you've got one
I
that's what,
actually
about 20 or
got
30 grand a month?
two big
Yeah.
contract that's totals to 30, totals up to like 30K a month. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's two big contracts. So one of them is very easy, one of them is very hard.
You can't win all the time, can you?
Exactly. One of them is very easy to manage. The customers are really nice and super. One of them is the opposite.
So what do you
So
do in that situation? Because other people would like to know, when you have a customer that is fussy, that is difficult, how do you
he's
manage it?
yeah, so that place is a luxurious place. I think you might know which place I'm talking about. I don't think I'll name names here. But uh their place is a luxury place. It's like a five-star hotel. So their place doesn't get dirty. It doesn't get dirty. Now that's where it makes it difficult. So it doesn't get dirty. We have to do into the fingerprints and the last bits. That's
Yeah,
what they expect. So
yeah.
in the last, I by the way, I'm not boasting, but I bought a brand new Tesla 3 months ago, and I added 25,000 Ks onto it just going to this site. 25,000 kilometers just because I had to do so many inspections onto my stuff. Like within 3 months, I put 25,000 because the site is around 40 kilometers from my site. I took it
Okay.
in because it's a good job. And luckily I have a supervisor up there now. So I put in a supervisor now
Yeah.
because I have to, because within the last 3 months, I've had over 18 teams because I had to find the perfect team because not everyone can do the job because you need to have the eagle eyes
Yeah.
because the place doesn't get dirty. Because everyone goes in there like, there's nothing to clean here, just go home. It's that
Yeah. Yeah.
clean. So you
Yeah.
have to get in there and you have to get into the bits and pieces. We don't have bathrooms there, it's just kitchen. So the kitchen has to be like spotless.
Yeah.
So I went in there every night, every single night. Like sometimes the guys finish at around 1 a.m. I go there at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Like I just go in there. Sometimes I see their car outside. I stay parked until they leave so I can go. So it was a hassle at first. Luckily, I found two good teams now. So they're doing great. Finally, and then I got a supervisor, like I said, who's living really close by, so he can go in there and have an inspection. So that's been really great once I got the supervisor. So I still go once a week, not every night, luckily. Because I had added like 100 kilometers every trip when I go in there. It's a long one.
Just doing
Luckily,
inspections.
luckily
Yeah.
it's an electric car. If it was the Mustang, I would have been broke by
Yeah, what
because
the,
the
yeah,
Mustang is
yeah,
a 5 liter.
yeah, would have been using gallons. Yeah,
Exactly. So I did that, and then so that is that, and I have not, the other on talking on the other side, the easier contract. Goes there every week, no issues at all. Calls the customer, they're like everything is going well. So that's the two sides. They don't even in that place, there weren't any customer complaints. It's just complaints in my eye. So I don't want it to be that way. So I'm being hard on this stuff. Like, no, 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 you have to do this, you have to do that. Because it's when a site doesn't get dirty, it's hard to prove to the client you're doing the job. So it's hard to get our staff to do the job too. So it's really hard you need to be really tactical in those cases. Because the other side is the warehouse sides, they have mud on their boots. Once you give that muddy floor a mop, no one cares. They're like, oh,
Yeah,
it's good, it's clean now.
yeah, I think it's
But in the other,
amazing.
exactly, the other side, it's already clean. What did you do last time? So they need all that little bits, the dust, like the little fingerprints on the glasses, the meeting rooms and things like that. So it's two different sides, but luckily at the moment today, I'm stress-free from that because it's all taken care of. Finally, after around 4 or 5 months, it's all taken care of. But yeah, two big sides, completely the opposite of each other. Yeah.
What I like about the way you operate the business, Nimna, is you're, I mean, you keep saying it's passive, but it's not really passive. It just
Yeah,
means you are getting involved in your business.
I am.
And that's the mistake that I see a lot of people make when they actually want to scale their cleaning business because they see, oh, there's good margins here. So I can still pay someone well. And if I do the job correctly and I follow the correct systems, because cleaning is just systems, just following checklists and systems. And if you know how
Yeah.
to do jobs efficiently, you can make good money. But then what they do is they say, all right, I've got a cleaning team. I know what my margins are. And the thing is, you can get away with that for probably about 4 months or 6 months. You might get a couple. Some people don't complain though. They just
Yeah.
disappear, don't they? If they do, well,
Yes.
you won't know this because you're doing it the right way.
No,
But
no,
this
I
is,
know what you're talking about.
yeah,
They're suddenly like, nope, we don't want to do it anymore.
yeah. And you're like,
Yeah,
well, what happened? You didn't complain, and
yeah,
that
exactly.
disappeared. But
Yeah.
you weren't communicating with the customer. You weren't inspecting your teams. You weren't training your teams. You weren't managing your teams really. So, I it's really important. Like, I just want you to talk a little bit
Well,
about that because,
by
yeah,
passive income, what I meant is not sleeping and eating chips at home and you get all the money in the bank account. That's not really what I meant. With passive income, what I meant is I get to do what I want when I want to do it. So I choose when to go. I choose when to inspect. I choose when to call. I choose when to sleep. Like it's under my control. But if I do a job, then I don't choose my time. I don't have my 24 hours to myself. And I make more than a job through Urban Clean. And that's why I call it a passive income, but I have time on my hands. But the reason why I go is not because I have to go, not because I must go. I want to go. So I want to make sure that things are right. I want to make sure my customers are happy. I want to make sure my teams are happy, and I want to make sure that my teams are not lazy. Because once you don't motivate them, they just get lazy after some time. So I want to make sure that because I believe that a lazy people can kill you. A lazy person can kill you. Like once they get lazy, they represent us. So if they are lazy, the customer is gonna think we are lazy. So that's not a good thing for the brand. So the reason I go is because I I want to go. So it's still passive for me. Like I don't have to go. I no one said me to go. No one's in my back saying, "Oh, did you go yesterday?" So I'm at my supervisor's back asking, "Did he go yesterday?" So it's not passive for him. He has to go whenever I ask him to go. So it's that freedom is what I call passive. And then um, you still there?
yeah, I am sorry.
Okay,
So what I need
cool.
to do is my camera died.
Ah,
So now
okay,
you've
no
got,
issues. Now
yeah.
I thought the connection. So what I was saying is, yeah. So when it comes to like, there are stages in life. You have the job stage. Well, before that, you have the studies, and then you get a job, and then you have another stage where you start a small business. So in a small business, there are different types of small business. Like I said earlier, a restaurant. Like my friends who's just bought a restaurant, they wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning. The head chef is coming there at 5 o'clock. They go there around 5:30, and then they work like a half a day. They have to be there, they have to manage so much. So I don't see that as passive. They make the same amount as us, but I don't see that as passive because he's putting in so much work throughout the day. Maybe later on he'll make it work, hopefully, to make it passive. But the good thing with this business is you're inspecting, you're going after them, you're motivating your staff, and you're making sure everything is right. but that is in your own time. There's no time frame for it. You don't have to sacrifice anything for it. Like I'm planning to go to Dubai next month for some business work for my digital. I'll be gone for around a week, and doesn't matter. My staff will be the same. I've already appointed the supervisor for the places if anything goes down, and I'm gonna be calling all of my teams, letting them know I'm going. So they're like extra careful. I'm not here, so make sure nothing goes down. So
Yep.
everything is going well. So it's that freedom. It's that freedom that I call passive. It's not that you're sitting at home. The good thing is you can take it to that level. That's the next and the next level where you have many sites, many supervisors, and then you just micromanage the supervisors. You're on the back of the supervisors, and the supervisors are behind the teams. So that at that point, you have to make sure it's either supervisors or, like in our model, it's the franchisees. So once you go into regional stage, you have your franchisees. So you have the back of the franchisees where they will do the job. So you don't have to go and look into all the little sites you have. So
Yeah.
it's just the stages. So I think considering the stage that many people are in, which is the job stage, and 85% of the time no one loves the job that they do. They're like, oh, I need to get out of it. I don't like to work. I don't like this job. So in considering to that, as a 20-year-old, 22-year-old, I'd say this is a passive income. That's my take. That's my take on passive income. It's not like you're not doing anything and you're getting paid. It's not really that. But you're doing the things you want to do, the things you have to do, the things you need to do at your own time and pace. So that's about it. That's my take on passive income.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's. I think a lot of people want to hear that, Nimna. So,
Yeah.
because there is that slight misunderstanding about what passive is and what isn't. I often call it like residual, but it just means you've got what they call a profitable commercial enterprise that can work without you,
Yeah.
and that's really what a business is meant to be. It's not meant to be a job. It's meant to
Yeah.
be something that you can grow. You don't need to. Yes, there's no such thing as truly passive, because even with property investment, you still have to do things, even,
Something.
but you
But
don't
that is
have to
what
be
life
standing
is.
outside the house collecting rent and watching your tenants live their life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Something is there, but it's just as you go up the ladder, it just gets lesser and lesser. But the stress increases because more, I believe, mm, the richer you get, you need to be able to handle more stress in different levels. And if to be the richest of the richest, you need to have a lot of bearing capacity. If you can't handle stress, then you're not meant to be rich, like not rich, but then rich, 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 rich. So when you are very high up the ladder, you don't have to do any physical work, but you have to make very serious decisions. Like if you take Apple, one wrong move, the stock price goes down. So the CEO has a lot of stress on his head. It's not like he's not doing anything. Even the owners, everyone, how they behave. Elon Musk has a lot of stress on his head because the stock market is on him. So higher you go up the ladder, it's not that you're becoming, of course, you're becoming financially independent, but you still have a move to make. But it's just that that's the reason why I said earlier, if because many people out there they want money, many out there they want money, and 40% of the people who want money have a passion and 60% don't. So if that's the case, urban clean and this cleaning strategy is really amazing, like I said earlier, because it has a lot of money in it. And if you put your soul into it, like you have, Damien, you can make a lot inside it. But that 40%, they can use this as a stepping stone for the bread and butter, for the thing that they have a passion about. So when that stress level comes in at the big stage, they're not demotivated by it because they have a passion towards it. But like if you're just after money, and if you'll do anything, okay, you just want to have a huge mansion with the pool and then a few supercars outside, cleaning easy. Because I have a mate of mine who's running a cleaning business. I'm pretty sure he's got work in New Zealand as well. So he easily tops 5 to 6 million a year. So that's a lot. And he built that in 9 years. So if people are after money, cleaning business, even with Urban Clean, it's like, imagine me, I came in 2019, and like we just spoke earlier, 30K gross just in 2 contracts, and I had more. So we're talking about 2 contracts, 30K gross, and then there's more. So it's a big industry to get into if money is what you want, because many people want money. Many people would do anything to get that money. So get into it if money is what you want. If you have a passion for something and you want to leave your job, get into this, make the passive income the way I am, that you will have time control to go into the next stage with this thing you love. You still won't lose this, but then you have this good amount of money coming, which is 4 times your salary, and you have enough time, which can be spent on the thing you love. It could be making a singing career, acting career, restaurant, anything. We don't know what it is, but you have the time and money for it. Because if you don't have time and money under control, it's hard. But then when you grow from that passion of yours, and then you get struggles, then you get stress, it's easy to handle. Like if Elon Musk ran a cleaning business, he wouldn't be as successful as Damien, because his love is for physics. Elon
Yeah.
Musk loves
Yeah.
physics, not cleaning,
Yeah,
but
he'd be bored. So, but to me, I get excited mainly about cleaning. I mean, the cleaning is the technical stuff, and I think that will get you so far. But what excites me most about the industry is people. So because I
people.
see this as a people business. It
Oh,
is first and foremost. You're helping people, you're
exactly.
solving problems for clients, but also
Yeah.
then you're developing people. Like just having, like for me, the satisfaction of doing what I'm doing is seeing someone like yourself come over from Sri Lanka. I mean, working your backside off,
Yeah.
getting this, and then finding this opportunity, and then turning into something that can
Yeah.
actually allow
Exactly.
you to live the life of your dreams. I mean, to me, that what else is there to do in business?
Yep.
That's
And
what I
that is
see.
your passion. So that is your
Yeah.
passion.
Mm.
Helping people and being there for people is your passion, and you're doing it. So everyone's got a passion, and some people don't. That's the thing. Some people, they just want money. So either one, this business is a good strategy and an easy way to get in. And then the good thing with Urban Clean is you have all the strategies laid out. That's one thing that was easy for me. I didn't have to learn from scratch. Everything was made out, coding calculators, marketing techniques, scripts. So you've laid out everything for someone to get started, and then you give them X amount of contracts as they get started, and then they just build up from there. So it's just worth it.
Yeah, awesome. What would you say to someone who is just starting a commercial cleaning business and wants to grow? What's your advice for them?
Just starting a commercial cleaning. Are we talking about Urban Clean with a strategy and with a plan?
Yeah, urban clean is obviously we've got an opportunity, but anyone who wants to get started in a commercial cleaning business,
Um,
what's your advice for them?
well, if it's getting out of scratch, which is from zero, then I would say, um, firstly, in sales wise, you'll have to go door knocking or something like that. You need to reach clients in some way. It could be leaflets, door knocking, whatever. Get that one client, and then make sure you take care of them. There'll be little bits and pieces. They'll be like, hey, can you do this for us? Don't charge them extra for those, because those are the points where you win them. Use them as an opportunity to win them off. Like, that 2 big contracts I have, the one that doesn't give me trouble, I do steam cleaning for them for free because they don't give me trouble. It's out of my pocket bag. It's all right. I'll just give
Yeah.
them an X amount of, like, it's all right. You do that, but like steam cleaning is of course very expensive. I'm not telling you to steam clean an office, but considering the how big the contract is, steam cleaning is a little investment. But if you're coming into a small contract, then giving a little bit of a dust, a table wipe, don't charge them for those little things, because that'll build up your brand. And then it'll start, once you have like 10 clients, you'll have word of mouth. So it's mostly about quality, how quality you have in your while you're doing the job. And also it's all about how you communicate with the customers. Make sure, because you can be much more than just a customer relationship. You can be friendly with them when they speak to you, and that's one thing. And one thing I do with my clients is, now this is not something that many does, and it's all right. One thing I do is now I'm not doing any of the work. I have staff, I have teams. So I make sure my clients know that, and they treat me as a friend. So they're on my side. So if something is up, they're like, hey, Nim, this happened, this happened, this happened. We'll talk to our team. It's like, it's not like, so I think it's very easy when in that level, especially with the big contracts. They see me as a friend who wants to do right. So I'm in their side. I'm in their side. But in reality, I'm in both sides. I'm in this side and I'm in this side. But, but for them, I'm in their side. I'm their friend. So they won't tell me to do it. They'll be like, hey, this is what's up. We'll have a chat with your staff. Like, so it's more like I'm like a communication method. And it's like a friend who you speaks to when you're sad. So I'm that friend. When something is up, when they want something, then they speak to me. And that's why I'm saying, if you can get your customers into that level, then so that usually it's this, where they speak down onto you. You go up like this and they speak to you. It's different when you're a friend with them. It's hard for them to break you. So that's what I use with my clients. Like I had with the big place that gave me a hard time, the facility manager there. So the facility manager is very friendly with me. There was a lady in there who was giving me a hard time. So
okay, yeah.
The facility manager asked me whether, do you want me to have a look around in the morning when I come, just so that when the lady comes, the site looks nice. So imagine that offer from a facility manager. I said, no, don't worry about it. Don't do that, because I didn't want him to do that. Don't worry about it. Don't do that. I'll make sure things get right soon. So, but that offer of a facility manager asking me, do you want me to go and have a look? Because he knows I'm coming every night. You stay home. Do you want me to go and have a look in the morning? Because he comes before that working lady comes. So I'll go and have a look around and make sure everything is right. So that type of bond is really nice. So that he's on both sides. And then if something goes wrong, of course I'm in his side. So that is something that if you're getting started, if you can have that sort of relationship with your customers, where you show them care, because my customers know that I care and I really try to care, like, because it's a difficult business when you get staff in place. Because now if it's a product-based business, like let's say for example, I have this car and I produce this. If I put it into the machine, I have 100 orders, I have 100 cars outside. But with this business, staff you can't replicate. You have to train them. And you can train how to clean, but you can't train character. You can't train attitude. So when you're hiring, you have to make sure you hire the right character, because skills can be trained, but character cannot be trained, attitude cannot be trained. So you have to hire the right character and attitude. That's what I do mostly. And then I train them. And then you have to make sure they do the job right in every site. So when you have customer on your side, it's much easier. So I think those are the things. Have a good customer relationship, make sure you're doing a quality job, and then get started somewhere. And if a customer is having few small requests, make sure you do them for free. Don't go and charge them. And I'll tell you one good example. Am I taking too much of your time?
No, this is great. This is great.
Cool.
I think it's very helpful for a lot of people.
One small example. We had a contract, and then during COVID time, I had stocks of toilet papers in a warehouse that I brought to give into sites. A huge stock I bought for another business reason. I bought it, but it didn't really work out. So I was left out with a lot of toilet papers and hand towels before COVID hit. And COVID hit, and the whole toilet paper, that whole issue where toilet papers were there. I was very rich by the way, because
you're on a pile of gold then.
Exactly. I sold so many toilet papers back then. Like, I've never felt so rich. I was so rich. So I was like, while I was selling all these toilet papers to all these people who are in need of toilet papers, I have big 48 boxes, heaps of them filled in a warehouse. So I sold many. I was like, why don't I give all my customers one box for free? Like, why don't I? And then I went in there the next day. I started keeping in all the sites because toilet paper is a problem. I get one free box in all the sites. One free 40-roll box. Of course, it cost me like 30 bucks or 25 bucks back then for one of the box. And I sold them for like 70, 75 back then because there was there was a huge
Yeah.
thing. Of course, I did give out my gold, but then it's for a long potential customer whichever will make money. And then next day I got a few thank you emails and thank you calls. And one place, a director called me,
Yeah.
and I've never spoken to the director. He called me and he's like, "We really love the job you do here. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for the toilet papers." And I was like, so I got the director's number, I saved it. So I was like, yeah,
Oh.
I have the number. And then around a week later, he gives me a call and then he's like, he wants his house cleaned. So he did refer to some of his friends. And then he did call me for some more toilet papers, which he bought from me. So I feel like that's the thing you have to do, that little gesture. You know how we do when we start, I think I have them here. When we start a contract, we do that little Mentos trick.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
you
Yeah.
know those
Yeah.
kind of things.
Yeah.
I do that as well. So whenever I get started, I try to put like, I don't put Mentos, I put real chocolates in there because
Yeah. Yeah.
because I
They
know it's
probably
like
prefer
it'll
that. They
cost me like
probably
20
prefer that.
bucks, but
Yeah.
then like it's all right. You know, I feel like people love chocolates than Mentos, so I
Yeah.
put like there are like in Woolies you can buy the mixed chocolate bags. You have
Yeah.
the little Kit Kats and everything. I put everything, and I have this. Let me just have a look. Uh, yeah, I've actually made many. So I put into these little cups, and then I printed this. Thank you for choosing Urban Clean.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I put into these little cups, and then I've purposely chosen a cup that looks big but is small, so only small few chocolates.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to put too
You
many
got to keep your
chocolates.
profit margins, Nimna.
Exactly.
So,
But I keep so many cups around
yeah.
the office. So those kind of things, I think those are the things that like gets you to the next level with the clients.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
going over and becoming unique. That is the good thing about it.
Yeah. Yeah. You're
That's what you should
becoming.
do if you're just getting started. Just do that. Be unique, have quality, and just go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, terrific. Oh, it's been a pleasure having you on the show,
No
Nimna. It's
problem.
been great. And I think a lot of people would be listening to this and getting lots of great ideas. And, you've done really well in your business too. And it's been a really enjoyable conversation.
Thank you, Damien. And it was really nice to talk to you finally.